Today on the update, Vice President urges youth to form more job lantes. Ghanaians warn not to run down the country for partisan interests. 3 German companies establishing factories in Ghana. Ghanaians celebrate independence in Berlin, Germany. WASI timetable out. The I Group not criminal organization Brian Champong. 149 died in Ethiopian airline crash. Joshua Clottey back with a win over Tanzanian counterpart. And Arsenal reclaimed top 4 after beating Manchester United. Hello there, it's a brand new week. We are glad to have you join us here on DGN. This is the update with me, Godwin Nambo. We go straight into our first story. The Vice President of the Republic, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged the youth of Ghana, especially those in the Zongo community, to gather the necessary discipline to resist any attempt that will lead to them to get involved in any antisocial activities, especially political vigilantism. Vice President Bawumia rather urged the youth to concentrate on tackling the major concerns of the Zongo communities, including jobs, education and business development, thereby forming job lantes, education lantes, busy lantes, instead of vigilante groups to promote their welfare and the development of the nation. Speaking at the 51st anniversary celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad by Sheikh Abdul Wadud in Kumasi on Sunday, March 10, 2019, Vice President Bawumia expressed great worry that many of the people said to be engaged in political vigilantism and other antisocial behavior are said to be drawn from the Zongo community. Sheikh Abdul, during the celebrations, noted that, I quote, Allah had blessed the Zongo youth with multiple positive attributes and talents such as strength, courage, knowledge, sports skill, entrepreneurship, vocational skill, among others. He urged the youth of the Zongo community especially to put their God-given talents to good use for their own benefit and for the benefit of their respective families, communities, as well as the nation. Vice President Bawumia also pointed out that politicians who encourage political vigilantism would not involve their children in such activities. Thus, it was instructive to rather challenge politicians who encourage vigilantism to rather try convincing their children to do so too. Vice President Bawumia sounded a note of caution to persons engaged in such activities, emphasizing that President Akufo-Addo has publicly indicated his resolve to crack down on political vigilantism and will deal ruthlessly with anyone engaged in such activities. Government, Dr. Bawumia indicated, would continue to invest in policies and programs designed to provide jobs and improve Ghana's human capital, including the free senior high school program, Planting for Food and Jobs, One Village, One Dam, and the Nation Builders Corps, NAPCO. The Vice President urged Muslim youth to be positive ambassadors of their religion by eschewing violence and intolerance. Under no circumstances should we allow ourselves to be used as destructive tools to perpetrate violence and all sorts of unacceptable acts, he added. So, at the just ended 109th anniversary of the Adisadel College in Cape Coast on Saturday, 9th March, the President poured out some endearing words to the students and old boys, also known as Santa Clausians, but clearly related to the entire populace.
When we make the wrong choices, we must act to set things right. When those put in charge of running the affairs of the state get it wrong, we must have the courage, the humanity, and the selflessness to say so. That is our patriotic duty. We should also not be seen at every given opportunity to be running down our nation merely to realize our narrow parochial and partisan interests. That is not acceptable patriotism.
The President, while quoting from the celebrated American orator and senator Carl Schurz, who in the 19th century said, and I quote, "My country, right or wrong, if right, to be kept right, and if wrong, to be set right," noted that should be the underlying belief of Ghanaians if the nation is to be successful in consolidating a sense of patriotism in citizens and generations yet unborn. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo reiterated that his government remains committed to the development of a free, fair society in which all persons, irrespective of economic circumstances and social barriers, are able to access education, acquire skills, and contribute effectively to the progress and prosperity of our nation. President Nana Akufo-Addo, while touching on his free senior high school policy, was elated to finally see that education in the public sector is free from kindergarten through to the senior high school. He also stated that he is proud to be a part of nations in the world granting unfettered access to senior high school education to all school-going children, since it was a path that had been trodden by successful nations like the United States of America, Singapore, Finland, Canada, Japan, Korea, and Malaysia. The introduction of the double-track calendar system, President Akufo-Addo stressed, is a temporary measure aimed at ensuring that no student was denied the opportunity to further his or her education. The president also added that within 2 weeks, contracts were duly going to be awarded for the construction of a 2-story classroom block and a 2-story dormitory block as a double-track facility intervention. That will be in addition to the completion of the dormitory block and a classroom. President Akufo-Addo did not leave out the venue for the gathering of the celebrations, as he stated in commemoration of his visit that GET Fund will be instructed to complete the half-finished building as well as replace the school's bus, as pointed out by the headmaster. And now, 3 leading German companies have indicated their intention to establish factories in Ghana to boost the local economy. The decision follows the strengthening of bilateral ties between the 2 countries. The firms took the decision after successfully participating in the 3rd German African Business Summit GAPS hosted by Ghana in February. Ghana Ambassador to Germany, Mrs. Gina Amablay, announced it at the 62nd Independence Anniversary held in Berlin on Saturday. The event was moved to Saturday to encourage participation of Ghanaians in their annual ritual. Previous celebrations had been held with the ambassador hosting foreign diplomats to a cocktail with little participation of Ghanaian residents. This has, however, changed with a promise to rotate hosting rights among German cities, with next year's event possibly going to Hamburg, where a large number of Ghanaians reside. Ambassador Blay said the outcome of the GAPS was successful, with Ghana reaping from the benefits. The event attracted over 750 high-profile business and political leaders, both from Germany and Africa, who converged in Accra to explore opportunities for building economic partnerships, seeking new markets, and building business trends. The ambassador made it known that 3 leading German firms announced their intention to establish in Ghana. The 3 firms are B. Braun, providers and manufacturers of healthcare solutions; Nof, manufacturers of building materials; and Lab Group, a Stuttgart-based providers of integrated solutions and branded products in the field of cable and connection technology. North products, particularly plasterboard, cement boards, are high in use in Ghana, and the company is eyeing Takoradi for its base. She said in the case of North, the company expressed its readiness to build a plant in Ghana to produce these materials at Westpac, a 405 acres commercial, industrial and residential development in the strategic location in Takoradi. With the setting up of the factories, the ambassador said, apart from job creation, the importation of similar materials will drastically reduce. The establishment of the companies will bring to 6 the number of German companies indicating their interest in the Ghanaian market by pitching camp in Ghana. 3 companies, including Volkswagen, had already shown interest in having plants in Ghana when Chancellor Angela Merkel visited Ghana last year for the signing of MOU with the Ghanaian government. The president of Union of Ghanaians in Germany, William Nketia, commended Ambassador Blay for changing the face of the Ghana mission and was particularly happy that the event was being held among Ghanaians in Germany for the first time, and lauded the initiative of the ambassador.
Any serious civil conflict should be a source of pride to us all. In celebrating this important milestone, the President expects us to join hands together in supporting the government's efforts of building a peaceful, united, and prosperous country.
Deputy Minister for Tourism and Creative Arts, Dr. Ziblim Idi, who was the guest of honor, acknowledged the contributions of diaspora Ghanaians in the development of the country and changes championed by them. He cited the representation of the People's Amendment Act, ROPA, for instance, as having been championed by Ghanaians living abroad, which has since become law waiting for its implementation. He assured Ghanaians living abroad that the Electoral Commission is working to ensure its full implementation, acting on court orders. Now, Ghanaians in Germany on Saturday marked Ghana's 62nd independence anniversary in Berlin, the first to be celebrated by the Ghanaian community. The event was hosted by the Ghana Embassy, where Ambassador Gina Blay admonished the compatriots to be law-abiding citizens and support the government in building a prosperous nation. Ambassador Blay, who received accolades for initiating the celebration of the Independence Day among the Ghanaian community, told the gathering that several programs have been initiated by the government for Ghanaians living abroad, citing the establishment of the Diaspora Office at the Office of the President. The office, she explained, collates concerns of Ghanaians in the diaspora for the attention of the President. She also mentioned that petitions received from Ghanaians living abroad on high import duties is being worked on. She said, and I quote, "I hope you continue to take advantage of the office to bring up relevant issues which require government's attention in order to assist you to contribute positively to national development," unquote. Now, the timetable for this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination (WASSCE) by the West African Examination Council (WAEC) has been released. In their announcement, WAEC stated that the examination per the timetable will begin on 8th April 2019 and end on 7th June 2019. The Basketry 3 project work will be the first paper with elective information and communication technology running up the entire examination. The English language exam will, however, be written on 9th May 2019. Now, last year, the Ghana Education Service (GES) and Examination Council came under strong scrutiny amongst heavy criticism. In July 2018, Parliament's Education Committee summoned the two bodies following the poor performance of students. Out of 316,999 students who sat for the exams, about 26,434 results were withheld due to examination malpractice. Also, almost 200,000 students performed poorly. All the best to this year's candidates. And now, Mr. Brian Achampon, the Minister of State in charge of National Security, has stated that the I Group was in fact not a criminal organization. Mr. Achampon, in a Facebook post, spoke extensively about the subject, saying, and I quote, "We did all the works and assured ourselves that the I Group was not a vigilante group, militia, or criminal organization," unquote. He said the national security did not classify or see the operation as a threat to the state and or government. Looking further into the matter, it was found out that the group was soliciting young unemployed persons, writing to companies and agencies for job openings, seeking to place their young unemployed clients into employment opportunities and charge them a fee for their services. Now, a documentary produced by journalist Manasseh Azuri Awuni, which aired last week, suggested that the group, affiliated to the governing New Patriotic Party (NPP), had been operating illegally at the Christianborg Castle in Osu since the party won power in December 2016. According to Mr. Brian Achampon, the security apparatus assured them that the I Group was not a vigilante group. Within that, they never saw the need to classify the job recruitment operations of the I Group. In a statement from Mr. Achampon, he said the security apparatus was, I quote, "aware that Nana Reko Elias Choman started his campaigning from his former secretariat at the castle, where we warned him on 2 occasions and arrested him, threw him out of the office and shut it down in October on our 3rd encounter with him. It has not come to our notice that he had access to the office since. Their new office is located at Jowulu. We are also aware that due to their extensive marketing efforts on TV, radio, website, and their placement success rate, a lot of unsuspecting unemployed Ghanaians continued to visit the castle in search of the I Group," unquote. He also said, "At no time did we see these people conducting any training regime that we will consider a security threat." He said those responsible for managing the castle lawn must answer for allowing trespassers. Finally, in a statement, he assured the public that there were men, both masked and unmasked, that will target anyone who attempted to challenge peace and security. And now, news of a rather sad event came in the early hours of Sunday morning as an Ethiopian airline jet crashed shortly after taking off. With a maximum seat capacity of 210, flight ET302 en route Kenya from the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa was carrying 149 passengers. The month-old plane, Boeing 737 MAX 8, crashed at about 8:44 local time, just 6 minutes after takeoff, killing everyone on board. Less than 5 months ago, a similar plane of the same model crashed into the sea in Indonesia. Among the passengers aboard the Ethiopian airline were 32 Kenyans, 8 Americans, 7 British and 18 Canadian nationals. There were also 1 passenger each from Ireland, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Djibouti, Belgium, Indonesia, Somalia, Norway, Serbia, Togo, Mozambique, Rwanda, Sudan, Uganda, and Yemen. Slovak MP Anton Henko later confirmed via Facebook that his wife and 2 children were on the plane as well. Investigations to determine the cause of the disaster are underway, but it is reported, however, that the pilot had reported difficulties and had asked it to return to Addis Ababa. Tewolde Jabrimariam, CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, told reporters, and I quote, "At this stage, we cannot rule out anything. We cannot also attribute the cause to anything because we will have to comply with the international regulation to wait for the investigation," unquote. An eyewitness at the scene told the BBC, and I quote, "The blast and the fire were so strong that we couldn't get near it. He said everything is bent down," unquote. A source at the United Nations also told Agence France Presse that at least a dozen of the victims were affiliated with the UN and that this may include freelance translators. World Food Programme Executive Director David Beasley, British Prime Minister Theresa May, Antonio Guterres, and President of Ghana Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, among many world leaders, have poured onto social media their condolences. On to some sports news now. Former IBF welterweight champion Joshua Clottey staged a thrilling comeback as an undercard on the Sheriff Quay and Michael Anson main event promoted by Box Office Promotions. 45-year-old Clottey clashed with Tanzanian boxer Mfwame 26 in a 10-rounder middleweight contest to kickstart a comeback he has relished from the beginning of the year. Clottey, who has won over 30 fights by way of knockout, promises fans to fight this particular bill not because of money, but for the love of the sport. Joshua Clottey stopped the Tanzanian boxer in the 6th round of the bout at the Bukom Boxing Arena over the weekend. Clottey looks forward to having another round of bout at the Bukom Boxing Arena before going to the United States for even bigger games.
Cassette. On his left foot here, Xhaka, he fancies a goal! Granit Xhaka with the goal!
Granit Xhaka's first house strike did the magic as Manchester United suffered their first defeat away to Arsenal at the Emirates Sports Stadium after sacking their former boss Jose Mourinho. The 12-minute strike by Granit was enough for the home team to hold up the first 45 minutes, which helped Arsenal seal the victory after Manchester United's first brought down Lacazette in the penalty box in the 68th minute, while Aubameyang converted the spot kick to increase the scoreline to 2. The win is a big boost for Arsenal's top 4 race as they are now just a point below 3rd place Tottenham Hotspur, who tumbled against Southampton on Saturday.
Aubameyang scores down the middle. That one big person. Anyway, a to move. The thing is, Lloris didn't move. No chance for the keeper.
That's all the stories we have for you today on The Update. But for more, visit our website at dailyguidenetwork.com or join us on Facebook, Instagram or YouTube at the Daily Guide Network. The Update is brought to you by Diamond Cement, powered by Press Express and supported by Casa Clothing. The Update returns tomorrow with me, Godwin Nambo. Until then, enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you for watching.